Hello, everybody. This is Mark Blanton from the Real South Africa.
And I am LaTasha Blanton, also with the Real South Africa.
And you guys are welcome to sunny South Africa. If this is your first time, this is your opportunity to come with Phil Scott with his channel.
And they will be here on March 16th through the 25th, 2022. The cost does include the flight, most meals, and your domestic flight in country from Johannesburg to Cape Town. The cost is $5,500 per person sharing and $6,150 for a person wanting a single room.
Now, at this point, you don't need any extra shots. The only thing you need to do is have a negative COVID test prior to you leaving. And then, of course, upon departure, we will get you another COVID test. And then that's it. So that's really all you need. And, of course, a passport.
So no shots, no vaccines, no nothing. Just get to South Africa. We'll see you here.
Now, without further ado, let's get our guests up here on the screen. Let me move my sound pad out the way. Guest, how you doing?
Hey, good evening to you.
All right, everybody can hear him just good. I hope so. All right, let's go ahead and get y'all. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Last time we were trying this and we had a technical difficulty. I was hoping that we could have fixed, but it didn't happen that way. So, hey, maybe it was meant to go live, right? So, which is a good thing. Everybody can ask questions about the trip if you have certain questions. So, first and foremost, we want to say once again thank you. And for people that don't know you just about, like I said, we're gonna start off that way. Let people just know who you are. Like I said, we had a bunch of new people come in since the last time. Both of you, wonderful people, was on the show. So let people know who you are.
I am Dr. LaTasha Blanton. I am co-owner of the Real South Africa with this guy right here. Who will introduce himself. We physically live in South Africa now for the past over 3 years, going on 4 now. And our main goal right now is to extend, a helping hand and assist to those that want to travel to South Africa specifically, because we are here, we have the capability to do a lot of things. So we are working with Phil to get you guys here the proper way. And that's the short version of who I am.
All right, my name is Mark Edward Blanton, and I'm the owner of the Real South Africa. We call it that for one reason only, because we want you guys to come to see the real South Africa, beyond what you have seen in the news or on the internet. Just what we see every day. As Tasha says, we actually do live in South Africa now. We I guess immigrated. Yeah, we immigrated to South Africa. After a lot of years in the U.S., and we have made our roots here, and we started a company actually probably by 2014 to bring those who are looking to visit South Africa to come here properly. Since we are business people, we do business, and so we set everything up for you guys to come here.
All right, so you originally started going back and forth to South Africa?
We did. So Mark first came in 2010 when he was in another profession. He was working for the government as part of the Secret Service. So he came in 2010. And then he met a lot of cool people while he was here. And the good thing about that is that they invited us back. So in 2011, we started coming back and forth. And then started coming for extended periods of time because we did own our own company back in the States as well, in addition to his job working for the service. So we started coming back and forth until eventually it just made sense for us to be here full time.
Okay, all right. So you went back and forth. Every time you went, you started liking it. So you got to the point where you say, you know what? Okay. Now we're gonna do it. We actually gonna do it. It's time. How did your family respond to that?
Well, I would say, it's funny because when I came initially, the people who hosted us, we didn't know nothing for the most part, but they hosted us, and I brought my mom when she was around, and then I brought my little daughter. Now she's 23 years old. But my mother just fell in love with the place. She was like, "Nah, this is it." So when she went back home, that's basically all she talked about. She told everybody about it. She told her friends, family members, and they wasn't too keen on it. But I was, constantly going back and forth. So she told me, she says, Mark, if you can make it back over there properly, then I would go. And so I came, and of course, obviously, me and Tasha, we came here, and we didn't really look back, and our family didn't really start coming here on a regular basis. Well, not say regular basis, but been coming here maybe in the last few years since we've been here. So, but I think now they're starting to get it and understand, just like all those people who come here, they don't get it at first until they get here, and then their minds just change.
I know.
Okay, all right. So since you've been there, has being in South Africa changed you since you've been there?
I don't think it's really changed us like the way that you would like think of as far as like change. I think it's pretty much allowed us to be exactly who we were supposed to be. That was made difficult by living in the US. So I feel like we're exactly who we're supposed to be and better versions of ourselves.
Yeah, I must add to that. I think we got a chance to flourish a lot more, simply because of the vibe that's here, the environment, being, when I say being part of the majority, meaning that there are other Black people who look just like me and Tasha. This 80%, almost 81% of the population looks like us. So it's easy to, have conversations, to talk to people, to spread ideas, to help others, for them to help us. After a while, especially since we're here, they feel like we're their brothers and sisters, and we feel the same way. So I'm not gonna say it changed it. I think it just enhanced what we already have, things that we tried to do in the U.S., but it took a lot of effort. We had to, I think, fight. I would use the term,
and struggle,
just
fight
a
and
tad.
struggle, just to do regular things. I mean, here you really just get to exist and be, and things don't necessarily go your way easily, but you do have to put in some social equity, is what I would call it. Meaning that you need to bond with the people, have communications, find out who they are, learn about their culture, and then that kind of makes things easier for you. So,
yeah.
Okay, so one thing that I noticed was definitely some of us here, we have a lot of fear. We are rather, there are folks that would rather go to Paris, France, which is a white country, than go see South Africa. They start getting afraid, some of them. But what contributes to some of that fear?
Well, I would say honestly, it's the upbringing. That we've all heard since we was in third grade all the way to right now. People believe it. Whatever we see in the media, we believe. And it's funny because, we walk around here every day. I mean, literally every day for the last few years. And I used to spend a lot of time in DC, and nobody never asked me or told me, "Hey, man, be safe. Be careful there." But I'm here, and I swear to God, I'm in probably the best and the most comfortable position I've been in my entire life. And when we get messages from home, people are like, "Hey, be careful, be careful." So, and I'm looking around like, "Be careful what? Like, what are you? I mean, is there something that you know?" And then again, I turn around, I turn the news on, I talk to people at home, just like we do. Obviously, we have social media. And there's always some stress and some strife going on. And I'm like, all right, well, I will chat with you later.
Going to grab a drink with some friends.
I'm going to hang out with some friends or whatever. So those types of things, I'm not saying they don't happen, but they don't happen nowhere near. I mean, I'm 52 now. Yeah, as much as they did it when I was in the U.S.
Yeah, because they say be careful, but they just recently had a shooting. I think it was at Fayetteville, North Carolina. Where
I'm from.
You heard about that?
I haven't heard about that yet, but I'm from there. I'm about to look that up.
Oh, you're from there? Okay. Well, they had this off-duty cop. I think it was some sort of fender bender or something like that. And the brother went to, talk to him about it, and the off-duty cop just shot him dead. Just shot the brother dead, and like this is being recorded on the street. But yet in South Africa, do you hear the cops is gunning down Black people?
No, actually, it's a whole different dynamic. Us being Americans, and then like a South African would somehow, see that story through social media, the one that you just talked about from my hometown, and then they would literally call us and say, "Hey, did you know?" And they're like, "Well, like, why is that?" It's almost inconceivable in their mind that those types of things will happen because those things don't happen here. Usually the police there. I mean, I was the other day. I was passing through. It's a store called it's called Macro, and it's very similar to Walmart, very similar, actually, even in size. And the person was out there with a flat tire, and the police is out there changing their tire, trying to help them change their tire. So the interactions are completely different, and you can actually talk to the police. I mean, if you feel like you're gonna do something wrong, I mean, obviously you don't get a little belligerent, but you can say, "Hey, I think this, I think that." Yeah, it's amazing, but you really, the crime stuff, it happens. This is a large country. It's twice the size of Texas. Things do happen, but is it something that's like in your face, like every day? No, at least not from our perspective.
Right. So also, even because South Africa has a history, of course, with apartheid and things like that.
Yeah.
So in the area of like say racism, etc. What is the different dynamics you've seen in South Africa versus here in America? Because I know there's a difference.
I would say that I'm gonna answer two ways. In the US, it is in your face, but you are taught to ignore it because you have to do that to survive. You have to almost tolerate it on a certain level. I think that the misconceptions about South Africa is that it's twice as bad here as it is in the US. And like Mark said before, the majority of the people are 80% melanated. So with that dynamic alone, racism is going to be a thing that you probably would almost have to seek out. I'm not going to say it does not happen. We've not experienced it here.
Yeah.
And I've had very few local people tell us about their stories. Most of the stories that they tell us about racism came 27 plus years ago when they were hard pressed in apartheid. But since that's, over now and they're post-democracy and, post-apartheid democracy, then what you see right now is a more inclusive South Africa where you don't necessarily see a lot of blatant, racism like you experience every day, whether you think you do or not in the US, it's there every day.
Yeah, it's something that I'm going to say that I know some, I'm going to say proper South Africans are still dealing with because of, I mean, they're only like a piece of a generation, past apartheid, even though apartheid is completely over. It's over. It's over. Are some of those people still here? Of course. Some of the people that were administering apartheid and some of the people that suffered from apartheid. So they're still going through that process, but I can say that just in my 10, 11 years of coming here, they are zooming past this thing. Most of the young Black people here, or Black South Africans, they don't pay that much of a mind because wherever they go in the advertisements and on the TV, on the radio, everything is Black. So that's what they know. And so basically, I guess during apartheid, things were a little different where they wouldn't see these things. Now it's everywhere. And I like it because I feel like, I'm a part of it. And then, of course, a lot of the things that are happening, they include us as well, in reference to, hey, there's something going on. There's a new product. There's a new store. We're part of it and we get to go. And it's good walking around freer here in South Africa than I ever did, and I mean ever did, in the U.S. And I hate to say it that way, but it's true. That's how I feel. Yeah.
Well, and both of you had businesses. You would be considered successful Black Americans, and you still felt that way. So it took you basically to go to South Africa to really have, I guess, that stress off your back. Is that would be the right word?
Yeah, I would say, it's different. Like, for example, let's say I'm at the bar, I'm in Chili's, where I just came from in the States, and everybody's having their problems, but nobody can really help each other. We just talk about it and say, man, man, you know how it is, you know how it is. Okay, now I'm here, and if I say, hey, I'm having this issue here, for example, and I will kind of say it. I put together a documentary, right? And it's finished. It's a beautiful documentary. I got South Africans calling me on a regular basis saying, hey, we need to get that on TV. Hey, we need to get that on the platform. Hey, we need to do this. Um, I don't get that in the US. I would have to literally, market every bit of it myself. So like tomorrow I have a meeting, with a good friend of mine who is who's a friend with SABC, one of their, broadcasting channels. So we can chat about it. But those are the types of opportunities that you get here. So when we was in the States, it was me and her. We were hooking and slinging pretty strong. But coming here, even what we do now in tourism, we got a lot of assistance from people in big places to assist us because they see what we're doing and they know that we want, the Black Americans to come here and they want to meet Black Americans. So they're like, well, let's just help Mark and Tasha in the real South Africa. And yeah, we can, meet the people when they get here. That'd be great. So that's what they've been doing.
Well, that's interesting you say that because you have people at times on the internet because, like you said, the way they're raised and they believe certain things. You ask you about how Black Americans you do a lot of tours, right? So how are
Yes.
the Black Americans received there? Because some of them really think that, oh well, some Africans don't like us and this and that. So you're there, you live there, right?
Yeah.
So let them know the experiences that you receive. That way we can just dead some of that stuff. And then when somebody say that, say, hey, let's go back and watch this video. There's people who live in there who are just like you.
Yeah.
I'm going to start by saying that every single day, if I meet new people, they hear my accent. I try very, very hard not to say much when I'm out. But they hear my accent. They're like, are you from America? You say yes. And at that point, they just want to know about where you come from, why you're here. And they're super inquisitive, and we're here every day. So when our travelers come, when our clients come, the people that have the opportunity to travel with us, when they check into the hotel and they hear that they're Black Americans, because they do get a lot of travelers from America, just not anybody with, that are Black. And when they get here, it's like they get red carpet rolled out for them because the staff and the people that they meet on the tours that they go on, the drivers they meet, they're so excited to just meet a Black American. And a lot of people have said to us that they met their first Black American through us. We may have been their first Black American, but up until they met us, they had never met another one. And now, in the past few years since we've been doing tours here, they've met the most amount of Black Americans they ever even thought they would. And now they look forward to it. They're like, do you have any more people coming? Can you call us over? I want to meet them.
Yeah.
So, I think that the lie of them not liking us or wanting us here needs to just be dead in the water.
Yeah. I can add to that as well. We're here. And for example, if I said to most Americans, do you watch Netflix? They would say yes. They have Netflix here. But here we have a channel called Showmax. It's kind of like Netflix, but it's more African-centric based. So on that Showmax, they show a lot of our stuff. On their news channels and TV channels, they show a lot of African Americans. But they all say the same, well, not all of them, but the majority of them say the same thing. I've never met an American. I'm a Black American. Yeah. I met a lot of white Americans. Yeah. I've seen a lot of them. They're everywhere. They come here, they do what they do, they leave. But they're like, where are the Black Americans? So when they meet us, they're like, they're super excited. They're like, wow, I get a chance because I see you guys on TV, so they're shocked, for a lot of reasons. But I will say that they look at us as brothers and sisters. They don't in awe.
Yeah.
Like, oh, these Americans. No, they just like, wow, they're meeting their brothers and sisters. So they're excited for what we're doing because they're like, you guys are bringing, our brothers and sisters back home so they can be part of this Africa. Yeah, there's borders and and all that, but and for the most part, it's Africa.
Yeah.
So they're very excited to see us and to spend time and to the first all they want to really do is they want you to learn their culture.
Yeah.
You don't have to learn the language. If you met somebody that wasn't from Africa and they spoke 4, 5, 6, 7 languages, you would think these are the most intelligent, the smartest people that you've ever seen in the world. Wow, this guy speaks 6 languages. Yeah. Well, here, 4 languages, you're slacking.
They're like, you only speak 4 languages?
Yeah, so it's usually around 6 or 7 languages that they speak. So they're very intelligent people, but you just have to spend time. So coming through the gate at OR Tambo International Airport, which I call the gate of the return or the door of return. You got to humble yourself just a bit. Just humble yourself, but be excited because they're excited to meet.
They really are.
You as well.
They really are.
Yeah.
I heard the last thing you said, humble yourself. Why did you home in on that?
Easily, because Americans, we come here and we think that we're in some position, some exalted position.
Mm-hmm.
We come here like, I graduated from here, I went there, I did this, I own this or whatever the case may be, which I've done all those things, great. But then when you get here for a little while and you find out you're just talking to this humble, gentleman, he's 30 years old. And, you're like, okay, it was just this guy, he's trying to tell me about his culture. But you'll probably find out this guy probably owns like 2 or 3 companies, probably owns like 2 beautiful homes. He probably has more than you probably have, to include his heritage, to include his massive family. So to come in, well, I'm not gonna tell you, but people come here with the real chip on their shoulder, but these guys don't. They just want you to come and just, hey, let's work together. What do you want to do, brother? Oh, you want to start your business? You want to do this? Well, then I got people, because these people here in South Africa are literally just one degree of separation from the top person to the person at the bottom.
Yeah.
So everybody knows everybody. So really, it's just a conversation. You just a nice, drink and a conversation away from being able to do what you need to do. And they want to see you succeed. They just want to see you succeed.
100%. That is 100% true. They definitely want to see you succeed.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I like about the African continent is that you're right. If you're a person like don't come around with that. Well, I just think just have a friendly spirit about yourself. No matter where you're at, do you be friendly with people? Be like you said, being humble. Humility goes a long way. It do.
Yeah.
Especially when you're meeting new people, going to new environments. And when I go places, I'm like, look, I'm just your brother. What can I do? How can we work together? That's any country I went to, I kind of go on that. No matter where I go, I was like, what can I do to be cool with you? And it's kind of sad that you even had to say that, but I understand America kind of infect everybody with this "you're better than everybody else" mentality, and then you go to, unfortunately, some people in other countries don't like us for that reason.
And I will say that if you come as a Black American with that attitude, you will definitely be put in a position where they will label you, and I'm going to put this in quotes, that they will say that you basically act like a white man or a white person. So you need to make sure that you check yourself and don't come as if you're entitled. They don't owe you anything. That's 100% true. So just come and be open. I think that's the best word that we use all the time. Just come and be open to learn, be open to understand that you're not the beginning and the end of all things Black. Like these people have a deep, rich culture, heritage, history that you probably can't trace back. I mean, you can do your DNA and that's great, but unless you got lucky and was able to trace someone all the way back to Africa, they know more than you, and you should just take it all in and add value where you can.
Yeah, I would say, and to piggyback off of that, is that, the center of the Black universe doesn't, no, it really doesn't start in America. It just doesn't. And I used to kind of like, Black this, Black that, and we say Black a lot, just to, just to say, hey, this is who we are. But everybody's Black here, like everybody. So you don't have to say that so often.
Yeah, you just get to be Black.
Yeah, you don't have to say it so often. And then you find out that a lot of things that we covered in the U.S., like for example, we had a family. We have so many stories of families. Of course, you can find that on our YouTube channel. But I would say that people come here and they see a whole bunch of Black people doing something nice, having a good time, drinking, and kids running around. And so the people that came with us said, "Is there like a festival, like an AFRAM or something?" And I said, I looked around, and because we're here all the time, so we get kind of used to what we see, and we're like, no, it's just Sunday.
Yeah,
it's just Sunday. That's just what happens.
That's what they do
here in South Africa, because it is a family time. Everybody gets together, add in little drinks, bring the kids, and do their thing. Unlike what we do sometimes, we're probably at work.
We try to do those things, but it always ends up being something else. I think we do those things where we try to get together and socialize in America and have the kids play, and we have drinks, and we're just kind of socializing. We do all that with the fear that something or someone may cause a problem that may cause the cops to be called. Here, it's like so regular. Like, you could pull up anywhere, and Mark will tell you about the cooler box at some point. Pull up anywhere, chairs, cooler boxes, drinks, kids, music, and nobody gets bothered. You can stay there 10, 12 hours if you choose to, and the cops aren't coming to tell you to turn your music down. None of that. They're just allowing you to just enjoy each other's company and socialize, which we really don't get a chance to do on that side without fear that something's going to go wrong or someone's going to call, 911 and say we're making too much noise.
Yeah, so basically you're saying that you ain't got to deal with Karen in South Africa.
See, I wasn't going to say it.
No, not so much. No, Lorato and
Toomey
and LC, they're going to come and they're going to enjoy. They're going to say, okay, we're going to break out the stuff. We're going to have a good time. Because most of the best times is with people you don't even know. You just show up at the spot or wherever it is, or you see something happening. You just go over there and start talking, and
there you go.
They hand you some drinks, and
it's a party.
You're there.
So, yeah, so basically you can just be kicking it. All right. So people didn't heard that. Definitely it's questions about, I see a few questions in here asking about, let's get to the trip itself. The trip dates are March 16th through the 25th, correct?
Correct.
All right. So let people know about the details of that. I know the main thing, because the laws change constantly, right? Even with health protocols. So what are the health protocols if a person go on the trip? That's one thing people keep asking.
Okay, so there's no shots or vaccines required to enter the Republic of South Africa. The only thing required is a negative COVID-19 test. It needs to be a PCR test, and it needs to be done 72 hours prior to departure from the United States. Yeah. That is the only requirement for South Africa to enter as far as like shots and vaccines are concerned. So none of that is required, just a negative PCR 72 hours prior to departure.
Okay, and just asking just the other side of that too, because some nations do this. If a person is considered fully vaccinated, do they still have to take a PCR? Because some nations were different about that.
Yes.
Yeah, South Africa. We've been doing the same requirements since the beginning of the pandemic in 2020, March of 2020. The health services here said, hey, this is the bar which we will allow people in, and we haven't changed it through all these different variants, through all the stuff that's been happening. And obviously it's worked because our numbers are way down right now. And Yeah, we've even relaxed some of the restrictions that we have, but we still do wear a mask.
Yeah, so
Okay,
there's something
so masks is enforced.
Yes, masks are enforced. You
Yeah.
As we say here, it's compulsory. Yeah.
Okay. In other words, it's not up for debate. You gonna
It's
wear
not.
your mask,
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
and if you
But
don't wear
can
your
wear a
mask,
nice
or
mask.
the police gonna holler at you.
Well, it'll probably be security. It'll probably be somebody in somebody like that. If you walk into a store, they'll be like, "Hey, you know, these are the rules." Yeah, these are the rules. This is what it is.
Yeah.
But honestly, 90 something percentile or more of the people places I go, people wear their masks. It's not a debate. And like I said, people they got these nice masks, these pretty masks they put on. So yeah, it's just part of it. It's funny you buy little nice outfits and then a mask come with it.
Yeah. You got it. You know how black folks are. We always got a style and profile. You know that.
Exactly. A bunch of black
Okay.
folks.
So that's the COVID-19. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was saying there is a lot of black folk down here.
Yeah. You know, and mentioning black, you know, the first time I went to the African continent, let's say 2018, I went to Ethiopia. I didn't even feel black anymore, I think, by the second day. Cause I'm like, wait a minute, everybody black like me. I ain't gotta be thinking about black. I just felt like myself. And that part, you know what, it dawned on me. I said, oh, this is how white people feel. They don't feel white because there's so many of them here. I mean, everybody look up to somebody white. It's the same thing about being black. It's like here you think about it because you're in a minority, but when I get over there, every time like the black just leaves and like, okay, I'm just with my people here. I'm me now. Yeah. I don't even think about black. I don't even think about it.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah, Steve Harvey said the same thing when he said he don't think about being black. He just don't. And he was saying the people that are in the majority in the majority in the states need to be in the minority for a little while to understand what it means to be a minority and so forth. So I know what it means. That's why I'm going to be here.
100%.
Right. Interesting. So, okay. So what can they do? Like I said, now you discuss the COVID-19 protocols and what's going to be expected. How can they, the people that really want to go and say, man, look, I got to go to that. How can they sign up and for that trip? I know other people asking about the fund, how much it costs, but I don't think you want to go there with that. But how can they sign up for it?
The best thing for them to do is to send an email with their full details. So I need telephone number, email address, and basically, reference the trip to South Africa with Phil Scott. So make sure that's in the subject line so that we know, because we get emails from different people all the time. So just make sure you send an email to info@therealsouthafrica.com. Make sure that you make that email address, one of the safe senders so that you can actually receive the email back. And then just reference, Phil Scott, March 2020, and then we'll send you all the details. 2022, sorry about that, 2022, and reference and we'll send all the details, cost per person, all those things are being there, the full itinerary, which we'll get into in just a little bit. But just know that the cost that you're going to see, guys, does include the international flight round trip from the U.S. to South Africa and the domestic flight in country from Johannesburg to Cape Town. So, you'll get breakfast every day and lots of other luxury things that we do. So you're going to get the full gamut. So that's why you'll notice that when you get the information.
Okay, and also, ladies and gentlemen, I'll make sure to put that link to do the email and everything after the broadcast. I can't do it right now since I am broadcasting. Okay, so you mentioned the itinerary.
Yes.
A person asked a question: do you need a visa? You need a visa in any country you go to. Well, do we need a visa?
Well, the actual answer is yes. However, you need a passport first.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, well, there are people because we do this on a regular basis, and people are like, well, now I got to apply for my passport, and I'm like, okay, you want to leave the country now, you want to apply for your passport, but you do need that. South Africa is very friendly when it comes to the visa, so when you get here, as long as you have a valid passport, once you get here, obviously you show them your COVID-19 results from the States. You don't have to take another one once you get here. That's done to arrive. And then once you get here, they will give you a free stamp on your passport. So you get that stamp, and then they say, see you, have a good time. That's it. So it's a free visa on arrival.
Okay, so yeah, definitely a question was asked about, I guess you mentioned earlier the itinerary, or maybe you could, give that, that answer that question possibly.
So with the itinerary, I mean, we're going to go to Johannesburg and Cape Town. So you'll spend a few days in Johannesburg and a few days in Cape Town. You're going to stay at a hotel where you'll have breakfast daily. All of your activities, excursions are included, luxury transport, pickup from the airport, transportation to everything. Basically, you'll get a little bit of shopping in. You'll go on safari, 1 day safari, and then basically just get to explore some of the historical sites here in South Africa. You meet some of the local people. You'll eat at some 5-star restaurants, Black-owned restaurants here in South Africa. So we're kind of give you an overview of what's available here. Obviously, we can't show you everything in 10 days, yes, but we're going to give you a very it's going to be a quick crash course and what you can expect when you get ready to return to South Africa. And I say when you get ready to return because it's a place you definitely have to keep coming back to because there's something new to discover every day.
Yeah. One thing I want to add to it as far as the itinerary is concerned, we do provide proper guides. Now, you probably never met a guide, but in South Africa, it's a very good position to be in because you are a guide, you are a historian. So everywhere you go, you're going to have proper guides, not just a driver taking you around, you get off, you just kind of look around. You're going to have a guide that's going to basically be breaking things down. You can ask questions. Yeah. Then, of course, he can give you the answers. And then it'll just be a perfect scenario because you will feel like you're actually in South Africa and learning and being immersed in South Africa because it's not like going up to a sign, read it, and not know what it means. Yeah. But there maybe that's still that sign, maybe not. But the guys that we have set up with you will be able to break things down and get you to understand what was actually happening at that time or even in the last, few years, yeah, and so forth. So, but I can't stress it enough because most of our people that come through us, they're like, man, my guide was awesome. My guide was awesome. It adds value to the trip.
Because they learn so much. I mean, because you can ask questions and I promise you they have the answer. And depending on, the guide you get, which we really, really like. So we have guides that are young, guides that are older. So you get a different perspective and that gives you some insight as well because everyone's not the same age. People on this trip are not going to be the same age. So it gives you a perspective of how far the country's come post-apartheid and what these people actually able to impart on you as you're, sitting in the car with them, going to your location to enjoy whatever's in front of you.
Well, one person asked a question. They were saying that what is the average time for the flight, and is it direct?
We do have a direct flight. The direct flight is 14 hours.
Okay, 14 hours. Okay, all right, yeah. 14 hours. And if a person decides to, let's say, if they want to upgrade their ticket, they can just do that at the counter.
They would have, yes, they can do that on their own at the counter.
Okay.
I know some people who have never. Actually, most of our people who come to us have never traveled internationally. They've only traveled, domestically, if that, which isn't a bad thing. But they're thinking if they're going to get on like a JetBlue plane or what's the Spirit airline, a small plane and fly all those hours. You're going to be on a proper jumbo liner coming across that water with, and then of course you get. Your drinks and your food, and they take care of you on that plane, and it's all included, so it works out for you. It works out.
Yeah, I think that'd even be my first time flying that long because I know when I flew to Turkey, I think it took about 12 hours. So yeah, a little bit longer, and that was a direct flight straight from Houston as well. Okay, so a person sends the email, they get with them, and I'm trying to think of any other questions people are asking here. People are asking, well, their channel is called The Real South Africans. Want to answer that. A person's asking about, I don't know why they're asking y'all this, but I can just ask this. They're asking about U.S. taxes. I mean, they say if you live in South Africa or anywhere in Africa, are you responsible for U.S. taxes?
Yeah, actually you are. Whenever, especially, Yes, the answer to that is yes. Yes, if we're talking about like I guess the end of year taxes or the April 15th thing. I will say though, here when it like for example, first of all, the US dollar is is pretty strong right now. So you can look at the price and say, wow, I can afford that. Keep in mind that the the taxes are on the items that you're going to buy. So when you see the price, let's say it's a 100 rand, which is roughly about $6. It's not 100 rand, and you go to the counter, and then they add the sales tax. No, the sales tax is built in there. As a tourist with that tourist visa that South Africa is going to give you when you come through, you can whatever you bought that you're taking back to the States, not food or stuff like that, but like if you bought some shirts and some clothes, whatever, some trinkets or things that you want to take back, you bought a pair of Nikes that you couldn't find in the States, that you find it here. You get that money back. All you have to do is when you get to the airport, on you leave, you just show them your little receipt. You show them the shoes, say, hey, I'm taking these with me, and they'll say, okay, fine. Then when you get home, because the tax is 15%, so you'll get that 15% back. So we just put some guys on a plane who flew back to Atlanta just yesterday.
Yeah, they just got home today.
Yeah, they flew home yesterday, and they got to the airport. All their bags were full, and then I guess they got boxes from the airlines to put more stuff in. But then they took their receipts over, and then so now they're going to get home, and then eventually, probably within the next week or so, they'll get a little debit card in the mail, and then it'll be the 15% that they spent here. So I don't know if that helps.
Okay.
But yeah.
Oh, awesome. One person's asking, can children come?
Yes.
I mean, South Africa is a family-friendly country, so kids are definitely able to travel if you want to bring your little ones. Those of you that want to bring your kids, just know that you're going to need to we'll need to give you a separate price for that. So when you get the information, just let us know that you want to bring your child, and then we'll give you a separate quotation for that.
And you can also too, because obviously there'll be follow-on questions. You can also request to have a call with us, and obviously we'll take the time because it's Phil's group, and we want to make sure everybody's good to go. So if you have a question, when you send your info at therealsouthafrica.com, if you want to chat with us, short conversation, we can send you a link and you can schedule a call and we can answer your questions, your personal questions because you have a question.
Yeah.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, you got to make sure the first thing you need to do is sign up for the trip. And if you have any more questions, they can answer your individual questions. But me personally, I'm excited to go. I can't wait because I ain't been to the continent since 2019. It'll be my little girls. Well, it'll be my wife too, but my little girl, she's gonna be coming. So my 7-year-old, it'll be her first trip to the continent as well. I can't wait for her to see that. At 7 years old. So I can't wait. And that way we finally meet y'all in person and break bread with y'all. And if y'all have anything before we wrap up, you want to let the audience know.
Just, if you want to find out more about who we are, please visit our website, therealsouthafrica.com. Visit our YouTube channel, The Real South Africa. That will give you more insight on the types of people that we have travel here, what you can expect on your trip as far as service is concerned. And as far as the trip is concerned, just know that we are going to make sure that you guys are taken care of from the time you land until the time you leave, whether it's a little person or an adult. It doesn't really matter how old you are. We cater to all people. So just know that, we are looking forward to having you guys here because this is long overdue and we cannot wait to see you guys here.
Yeah. And I would say that, we are from America. We spent a lot of time over there. We're here now. And, people had always, when we was there, always were asking us questions about South Africa. And, we answered most of the questions and some people came, some people didn't. But we are a Black-owned company, based in South Africa. And that's what we want. We want to be able to be that bridge for you to come to Africa. And we feel that South Africa is a really good start if you're looking at trying to venture into Africa, especially if it's your first time.
For sure. And no matter how many questions you guys ask, I will say this. Everything that you read and everything that you see, just know that we can't debate that with you. I promise you, it'll all make sense when you get here. So I say this in all of our videos on our YouTube channel. It'll make sense when you get here. So just get here.
One more question. I have a person asking, is this only for U.S. residents only?
No,
we have some people from the UK that have signed up for the trip.
UK, the Caribbean. I get hit over the head because I don't never acknowledge my Caribbean people because they're on our channel as well. But yeah, and of course those from the Caribbean as well, they're more than welcome. And those in Canada, we get a lot of Canadians that are interested. So yeah,
so it's open to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all gotta know, it's like the United States isn't the only country that watch this program. I mean, I know that's gonna accommodate you. Yeah, from whatever country you from, come on the trip and enjoy yourself. Let me tell you something about the safari thing, because at least I went on one in Kenya. Once you go on safari, you cannot go to a zoo no more. Like, I feel bad for those animals when I can't go to a zoo anymore.
Yeah.
It's different. It's very different.
It's very different. Safari is great, actually. We've been to how many? I don't know. There's no such thing as a basic safari. Like you just go and then like it's the same every time. You can go out on safari in the morning, or we call it game drive, and then go out in the evening, and it's a whole different scenario. And then go back the next morning.
It's completely
different. And it's a complete. You like because the animals. They
just kind of do their thing. Like you never know. Funny. I love it. Yeah. I mean, we're comedians when we're in there with talking about the animals anyway, so we just have a good time regardless. But yeah, you'll definitely enjoy the safari. Those of you that are on the fence about safari, you'll be in an open vehicle, but it is a protected vehicle. You will be fine. I promise you. The guides are amazing. They keep you safe, and you'll learn an awful lot about animals that you didn't even know. Trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah, animals are awesome. Shout out to the animals. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the animals. I just hate to get me started on that when them folks want to go over there and kill them poor animals. I'm like, boy, I said they need to string them folks up and do the same thing to them. But anyway, they love to go kill them animals and be posing next to them with a gun. Oh, I can't stand that. They do that.
Hey, half of them your neighbors. They come over here for this express written consent to come here and shoot at animals. Yeah,
that's why I say, like, they better not ever let me get no power or nothing. I'm the first thing I'm doing, I'm banning them. It's like the virus, I'm banning y'all because y'all do kill, steal, and destroy. But anyway, we definitely thank y'all, for joining us today and just giving out that information, answering questions. And we definitely, like I say, can't wait to see y'all. Shoot, it might well say shortly because the way the time is passing. I mean, shoot, January almost halfway gone.
Yeah.
I will add one more thing too. So those of you that are, wondering about how to make the payments this short in advance, we do offer PayPal credit. If you qualify, you can obviously apply for that, and then we can move forward from there. So there's a way to get it done. If you really want to be here, we will do what we can.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it there first. We will put that link. Just go through and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Real South Africa. Because they just giving you a preliminary because they also be doing a nightlife thing too. So, but you'll see that on their channel. They out there getting it in, having a good time with black folks. So thank y'all for coming. Greatly appreciate it. And like I say, definitely we have to see y'all in March.
All right, we'll see you soon.
All right, take care.
Thanks.
Bro.
All right.